presentation for the support of psychotropic medications. So some context for what's going on. After the 1997 study on ADHD misdiagnoses for bipolar, there was a massive influx of bipolar diagnoses, which led to the over prescribing of drugs. And since there was little research, there were many horror stories that came with it. My first example is Jacob from the medicated child. He started developing alarming symptoms at age 3. He was prescribed medication. Eventually, they kept piling up until he was on about 8 of them, and they caused him to develop a tic, and he still was having problems, and his family was overwhelmed. It took him years to get on the right path. Eventually, he got off on a lot of the medications and started some alternative forms of treatment. So the response to these kind of stories is the Clinton administration called for increased research on the pediatric subjugation of psychotropic drugs. So my literary findings will just kind of lead into my resolution. The first one is just proof that there was a massive increase in the prescribing of antipsychotic drugs, even though there was little research on it for children. My second one just states that alternative forms of treatment, for example, forms of therapy can be effective in treating children with bipolar. And my third one is just a proof that some antipsychotics are effective in treating children with bipolar. It just depends on the child. So some pros and cons. One pro is that there is an increasing amount of research being done on children. Some medications are proven to be efficient in treating children. Some cons is that there are severe side effects. The treatment process is experimental, since you don't know if the drug will help the kid out until you try it, and there is a common distrust in big pharmaceutical companies. So my resolution is that there should be a continued prescribing of psychotropic drugs on children with increased research and awareness for the parents, so they know what they're getting into, they know the risks involved, and the doctors should give the parents more incentive to seek out alternative forms of treatment, and I think this will all lead to an increased treatment efficacy. And here are my sources.